What's up, guys? Hope everyone's having a good day today on this lovely Saturday. Today we'll be talking about the NHL Awards predictions for 2025-26, and we're talking about some dark horses for each one as well. So let's get right into it. We're going to be going over all the performance-based awards for the 25-26 season. So obviously we won't be doing the sportsmanship, leadership ones, but we will be talking about the best players for statistics and the skill on the ice. We'll also be talking about the coaches and the general manager of the year, and we're going to see how it goes for next season. So let's make some predictions. For the Hart Trophy, this is the MVP of the season. This is the best player in the league. I'm going to go with Connor McDavid. Wow, what a niche take. Who would have thought, right? But you'd be surprised that a lot of other players are winning just as much as Connor McDavid in the Hart Trophy category. Despite being pretty much undoubtedly the best player in the league for the last, let's say, at least 7-8 seasons, Connor McDavid's only won 3 Hart Trophies, including last year. He had a pretty good year, maybe a down year for his standards. However, he didn't win last year and wasn't even really in consideration. He missed 15 games last season with an injury, and obviously that was a big contributor to last season's quote-unquote down season where he still put up 100 points. But this season, I think he can bounce back, put up at least 120, 130 points, and earn his spot as the Hart Trophy winner. My dark horse winner for the Hart Trophy this season is going to be Kirill Kaprizov. And I actually spoke about this a lot in my last video where I talked about my hot takes for the last season, or for the next season, sorry. Kaprizov is really the most dominant player on his team offensively by a country mile. His points per game is not even comparable to the second best player, kind of similar to David Pastrnak. However, Kaprizov's on a better team, and they have a better chance to make the playoffs and even make a run. But the point is, regular season, I think he's going to be the most valuable player on his team. At least he has a great chance to be so. For the Calder Trophy, it's honestly not too hard of a decision this season, unfortunately, as a Leafs fan. But we're going to go with Ivan Demidov of the Montreal Canadiens. I think even if you think players like Matthew Schaefer, Michael Misa, Zane Parekh, these guys are going to have big impacts on their team, I think Demidov's going to be given the most opportunity, maybe power play minutes, top 6 minutes on the pretty good Habs team, where he'll be playing alongside guys like Suzuki, Caulfield, etc. I think he's going to be put in the best position to put the most points up, the most goals, and I think he's going to be the best rookie this season. I'm actually going to go with my dark horse pick for the Calder Trophy of the 25-26 season as Zane Parekh of the Calgary Flames. I think he's just such an elite offensive defenseman. You can see his numbers here on the screen from his last season junior, and he is really going to be playing a huge role in that Calgary Flames defense. I mean, last season we saw him with Dustin Wolf with a top 3 finish for the Calder. Can Parekh be the one to hit that number 1 spot? Next, we're going to talk about the Selke Trophy, and this, we may as well write it off now, is probably going to be Alexander Barkov. Could we see Barkov eventually pass that 6 mark by Patrice Bergeron of the Selke Trophy? What I will say, though, is that my dark horse pick for the Selke Trophy this season is Austin Matthews. And let me explain. I think people love the goal scoring of Austin Matthews so much, they kind of disregard how good of a two-way player he is. And also, the important thing to note is that he actually was a finalist for the Selke Trophy just a few seasons ago. Also important to note is that with Mitch Marner leaving the Leafs, Austin Matthews is going to be the number 1 penalty killer for the team, as he was last season on that top penalty kill with Marner. And therefore, he has a lot of responsibility this season defensively, and can he make the most of it and win a Selke Trophy? Now onto the Vezina Trophy, and I think this is another one kind of similar to the Selke, where there's been one player dominating this for a while now, which is Connor Hellebuyck, and he is probably the pick that you should have. Who I am going to go with, actually, is Igor Shesterkin. I think he's going to have a bounce-back season this year. He's obviously been on a pretty strange Rangers-looking team the past few seasons, but he is one of the best goalies in the league, and how many times can Hellebuyck win in a row? He is probably the favorite, but I'm going to go with Shesterkin. My dark horse for this pick is kind of a fun one. I'm going to pick Dustin Wolf from the Calgary Flames. They're not going to be the first seed in their division. They're not going to be a elite playoff team. Maybe they'll squeak into the playoffs. But if they do, it's going to be a great play from Dustin Wolf, and therefore, if he can put them into the playoff position, he can probably win the Vezina Trophy. All right, let's talk the Art Ross Trophy, the trophy for the most points in the NHL this season. Last year was Nikita Kucherov. Obviously, he's always a threat. He puts up so many points, especially on that power play, but even at regular strength too. But my pick's going to be Connor McDavid. Since 2016-17, the award's really been shared between Connor McDavid and Nikita Kucherov, although Draisaitl didn't win it 1 year. But the point is, those two are definitely the biggest threats for this award. I think McDavid's going to come back and win this again. What I was actually really surprised to learn was that Nathan MacKinnon has never won the Art Ross Trophy. And for that reason, he is definitely my dark horse. Obviously Kucherov and McDavid have dominated this war for a long time, But Nathan McKinnon's always in the mix, and I feel like he can definitely win it this year. It depends how good his team is around him, but I think he is definitely my dark horse and could even be the favorite. Given the fact that I gave Connor McDavid the Hart Trophy and the Art Ross Trophy, I'm going to give him the Ted Lindsay as well. He might as well complete the three-peat. It is an award voted by the players, and the players obviously have the utmost respect for Connor McDavid. Whenever you hear them in interviews, they're always talking about Connor McDavid is the best in the league. Connor McDavid can do this and that. Because of that, they know that what he can do, and they obviously would vote for him in this award if he plays a good enough season. So therefore, he's my pick for the Ted Lindsay as well. My sleeper pick for the Ted Lindsay Award is going to be Nathan McKinnon again. Once again, is it really a sleeper? I don't know. But the point is, the players have the utmost respect for Nathan McKinnon, his skating speed, his hands. Like, he is such a very talented player. Obviously, Kucherov is in the mix, Leon Draisaitl, maybe a season from Austin Matthews, but I'm going to go with McKinnon this time. Now let's talk about the Norris Trophy. And this has really, really become a two-man race in this league, and I think it's going to be very hard to overlook that fact. Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes both are the always front runners for this award for the past few years at least, and I think it's going to be very hard for them to not win this award. They're both easily the most offensively gifted defensemen in the league, and they play a pretty good two-way game as well. So my pick for this year is going to be a back-to-back for Cale Makar. While I think that Quinn Hughes is probably just as good offensively as Cale Makar and may even put up a few more points this year, I think that Quinn Hughes is just a little bit worse defensively than Cale Makar. Not to say he's a bad defender at all, but I think Makar is a bit more of a complete player. And you've seen it kind of a few years ago in his race versus Roman Josi for the Norris Trophy when Makar won his first one, when he actually had less points but just put up a great defensive all-around game and ended up winning the trophy. Because I think that Quinn Hughes and Makar are so close together and they're so very much like a two-man race for this award, I'm not going to pick Quinn Hughes as my dark horse pick because he could easily win this trophy. Who I'm going to pick is a true dark horse, maybe the most dark horse pick of this entire video, which is going to be Lane Hudson from the Montreal Canadiens. Those kind of players don't get rewarded with these kind of trophies, and so I think the offense is way more important. Therefore, I think he has a chance to win. If not this season, then at least down the line for sure. Also, apologies for the bad lighting. The sunlight went down, but I just realized I didn't talk about the Rocky Richard. So my primary winner is going to be Leon Draisaitl this year. I think he's evolved into such an amazing goal scorer. I think the dark horse being Austin Matthews is a very, very close one this year, though. I think Austin Matthews is going to have an amazing bounce-back season. Maybe could surpass Draisaitl too, but we'll have to see. For now, I'm going to take Draisaitl. He's reliable. He's going to score goals. He loves his spot beside the net, and I think he's an undeniable, at least, option for the award. Austin Matthews, you never know what you're going to get with him, but at his best, he's definitely a favorite, so we'll see what happens. In my hot takes video, I actually had the New Jersey Devils finishing first in their division, the Metropolitan Division. If this happens and they put up a ton of points, I could definitely see Sheldon Keefe winning it, kind of similar to last year when Mr. Carberry won it from the Washington Capitals. My dark horse for this pick is probably, let's go Brad Treliving. If the Leafs do not have the highest expectations of them this year, but they can go win the division and they can go make some huge noise in the league, I think he has every chance to win this award. All bias aside, I think he's a genuine candidate for the award. He's a great coach, and I think that he can honestly lead our team to a pretty good number this year, even though we lost one of the best players in the league. I'm actually deciding now I'm not going to predict the GM of the year because I think it is so situational. It all depends on who wants to get traded, who makes the right trades, and I think it's very hard to predict that kind of thing. We don't know what storylines are going to happen, who wants out, who wants in. Therefore, I'm going to let the season go out, and then we can predict it maybe halfway through. So, it's all the awards I want to predict today. Hopefully, I did a pretty good job. We're going to see how it goes down the line. Some of them are pretty controversial, but I think it has a chance to happen. Let me know what your favorite pick was, who your least favorite pick was, what's not going to happen at all, and I got it wrong. Let me know what you think about the video. If you get a chance, please like, subscribe, drop a comment down below, and let me know what you think. And also give me some suggestions for why I could do better, some future video ideas, anything you want to put in the comments. I'm grateful for it. Have a great Saturday, great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much.